Thanks for staying with us. Now, most of us know that parents must support their children, but did you know that your brother or sister could be legally responsible for your financial survival? The National Prosecuting Authority is clearing the air on South Africa's maintenance laws, revealing that the duty to support doesn't just stop with the parent-child relationship, it actually extends to siblings. But before you send the bill to your successful sibling, there are very strict rules. And to help us understand the who, how, and why of sibling maintenance, we're joined via Zoom by Advocate Mooketsi Molaudi, the NPA's Provincial Manager for the Sexual Offences and Community Affairs Unit. Oh, Advocate, you have opened a can of worms. Firstly, is it true that legally you can force your sibling to support you financially?
Thank you very much. As per your introduction, I'm Mooketsi Molaudi. I'm the Senior State Advocate, Provincial Manager responsible for a unit called Sexual Offences and Community Affairs Unit in NPA, the unit entrusted with the mandate to ensure that the GBVF in the organization is carried out. This is not a new law. Let me start by saying that. This is not a new law. It's been there. It's our common law. The first thing that I want to articulate is there is no rule of law that cannot be read with other statute, with case law, and with common law and constitutional provisions. It's very important to start by saying, whatever you do when you deal with maintenance, you must focus on the best interest of the child in terms of Section 28(2) of the Constitution. We do have legislation that addresses maintenance in our country, which is our Maintenance Act. As amended, we amended the Act in 2015. But pursuant to our webinar, which attracted a lot of questions, which attracted a lot of information that needs to be provided going forward. I think as NPA, we need to clarify this. This is part of common law. It's been there in our law. Common law is part of South African law. When you trace back the issue of collaterals, we call them collateral siblings, meaning brother and sister. It dates back to common law where there were practices before which our communities observed, and then they were practiced. And then we know very well that at some point, we used to have brothers who are taking care of the sisters. But before we can even go further, we need to articulate that maintenance is based on 3 legs. 1 is the legal duty to maintain. 2 is the need to be maintained. And 3 is the means. Does the person has the means to do that? But when it comes to siblings, the general rule is that maintenance must be sought from nearer or closer relations. Meaning,
so, yeah. Advocate, does this then mean you cannot claim from a half-sibling?
Before we can even go there, let me articulate the requirements first. There'll be a relationship, yes, brother, sister. There'll be a need, you must prove. But I'm gonna articulate the difference between the child and the person who's older in terms of maintenance. Maintenance must be sought from a closer relation, meaning the first entry will be the parents, right? The parents of the person who's claiming maintenance. And secondly will be the grandparents. And then you can see that the siblings comes at a later stage, very at the back there, because of, as a person, you have responsibility, your own responsibilities. Self-care, self-maintenance, you have maintenance of your kids, you have maintenance of your parents who are not employed, and then the siblings will come at a later stage. So it is not a given, and we must make it clear that you automatically qualify. There are some of the things that you need to prove that, yes, I need maintenance from my brother because of my parents are not gainfully employed, my grandparents are not gainfully employed, are no longer there, and then the only person at this point in time to rely on is my brother who's gainfully employed.
Advocate, then, are there age restrictions? I mean, you mentioned 3 markers that one needs to prove, and that is need, it is the legality, as well as does the sibling that you're claiming from have the means. Can it be done at any age, or does it end when one is 18 years old?
Yeah, let me qualify this, because I'm going to talk about the myth at a later stage. Can we leave that for when I talk about the myth? But let me clarify this aspect. When a person makes an application for maintenance, we are talking about an older person at this point in time. Obviously, there are some of the things that you need to prove in court. Like, for instance, yes, there is a relationship. There is a need. You need to prove the need extensively, because it's not the same as when you claim maintenance for a child. It's much stricter. And then you need to claim, you need to ensure that there are means for this person to maintain you. But I need to make this clear to say that the more you claim maintenance as a sibling, the scope and conditions become narrower. It's not the same as maintenance claiming when you claim maintenance for a child. You need to prove more. Meaning you cannot just come because of I'm gainfully employed as your brother, then you qualify for maintenance. The court must at the end of the day ensure that all the 3 requirements are met, and this is subject to the maintenance officer scrutinizing this application, and then at the end of the day, we are left with judicial discretion, because it's not like the magistrate will just grant that application. It must go through the processes, and obviously when the need is there, when the means are there, there is no way in which the court cannot do that. But at the end of the day, it's not simple as this, when you claim maintenance for a child. So I don't want to encourage South Africans.
Yeah. You don't want to encourage South Africans to lay back at home and say, I actually just refuse to work because I can claim from my sibling who has the means.
Yeah, we don't want courts where at the end of the day there are floods of application that are necessary. At this point, our country must just know that this is not a new law, and I want to make it clear. This is part of common law, and when you trace it back, it started in 1934 with the first case of Oosthuizen, and in 1964 there was a case of ex parte Pinal, where it clearly articulates this duty of siblings towards each other.
All right, that is...
But the country must know that this is not a given thing. At the end of the day, you need to prove to court as to what have you done in terms of your self-development, and obviously why at this point in time you are not gainfully employed, and is the person to maintain you has the means to do that, which is very important.
Advocate Mooketsi Molaudi, NPA's NC Provincial Manager for Sexual Offences and Community Affairs, thank you very much for your time. And